Hello Gemini and welcome to Looking Glass Letterbox. This is the 2020 general overview for Gemini. Again, it's general, so it may not connect for everyone, but hopefully there's still something here that is interesting or curious or holds potential for you to carry through to consider throughout 2020 into the new year and into the new decade. We are closing out 2019 and this past decade and opening up into 2020 and a whole new 10-year cycle, and that is very exciting to me. So I hope that you all are excited about it too. We are going to begin here for Gemini to consider for 2020. Pucker up, Buttercup. This is your notes from the universe on love and connection. So that's a great way to open up a new year. Being fair and reasonable will earn you respect and admiration, but being genuinely kind will make you a total love magnet. Go for love magnet, the universe. Okay, so be open and expand your expression of kindness throughout the year, and that's going to serve you well. Great advice, great thing to keep in mind as we're moving into a new expansive cycle and the potential for change and new growth and new evolution. And this is your Enchanted Map Oracle card to consider for the year, and that is movement. Okay, so movement, what are you actively doing? Where are you going? You know, physically moving yourself to. With movement, let's see, the quote for movement is, you are in a time of positive forward motion. Fantastic. So this is a time for positive, this card indicates it's a time for positive momentum after coming out of a period of restriction. I know 2019 for many of us, particularly the last half of 2019, was very difficult and difficult to navigate and adjust to. So if you were having a hard time specifically or especially throughout the end of this year, but even throughout the rest of this past 10-year cycle, those restrictions and those impediments to your movement and to your expansion are going to be lifted moving into 2020, and it's going to be a time for new adventure and discovery. You might feel compelled to take a trip or change your hair or move house or change jobs, move your business. Regardless of where it is that you want to foster this forward momentum, you can't remain where you are anymore. So that time of stagnancy and restriction and non-activity is past. We're moving into a point of expansion and momentum and forward movement. So if you're connecting with this, you actually feel compelled to go forward, like you physically can't stand still. So no matter what it is that you would like to do, doors previously shut to you in those areas of growth are going to begin to open. So it's also within your state of mind. So if you've been feeling sort of disenchanted or disengaged or just uninterested in anything, you know, you find it very difficult to tap into your motivation to embark upon doing the things you need to do to engage with your ambitions and to develop those things that you would like to develop. If you've been having difficulty in that arena, that fog is going to lift. So you're going to be able to tap into that reserve of energy and motivation to begin taking the actions you need to take in order to get the ball rolling and get this project off the ground, whatever it is that you would like to endeavor to do. So it's definitely a time to release fear and to release intimidation of what is unknown, if that applies to you, if that's something that you struggle with. It's time to release those restrictions and let it go, let it be known, start doing the things that you need to do to make the things that you want to make happen. And the momentum that you built up behind you and the movement and the energy that you generate within that is going to propel you forward, and things will start to happen. Okay, so consider, what do you need to do to get things off the ground, to move them forward? What have you been putting off, or have you been resistant to engage with? What doors have previously been closed to you? What does the potential for those doors to open look like now? If you looked into it previously and the answer was no, it doesn't hurt to ask again. The answer may be yes this time. So consider all of those things as we move throughout 2020. All right, and then we're going to move here. This is going to be the central theme to consider for the year for Gemini, and that is Ace of Wands. Yes, bold, new, explosive potential, taking active action, initiation, potential. The Ace of Wands, potential in action, so new vigor, rejuvenated spirit, rejuvenated enthusiasm and outlook, that sort of explosive, creative, emotional, and intuitive energy that you need to sort of generate within yourself in order to get any ambition off the ground and start embarking upon that journey. That is the central theme for your year. Ignition for Gemini. Ignition for 2020. Gorgeous. Love it. Love it. All right, this is what is passing out of influence from 2019, possibly passing out of influence from the past decade, and that is the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so what's already been experienced, what's already been sort of looked into and generated and established is a point of stable abundance. The Queen of Pentacles, queens are about understanding what it takes to create abundance and to sustain it, not just for herself, but for all of those people and circumstances and situations that are significant to her. It's an earth energy. It's a very grounded energy. So for any of you connecting with this one, it's indicating that you've done the work and you understand what it takes in order to manifest all of that 3D real world, real life abundance and material stability and wealth, what's required in order to maintain that and to sustain that for yourself and for others. All right, so that's a great state of awareness to be coming out of, because it's going to serve you very well moving into this expansive new potential that you have the opportunity to engage with here. What is coming into influence, or to consider coming into influence in 2020, is the Four of Wands. Again, fire energy, active energy. 4 is a point of stability and celebration. It's about taking the time to appreciate and celebrate how far you've come this far. So it's not a point of being done, of being complete. It's sort of the initial celebration after you get a project off the ground. It could indicate a wedding, it could indicate a baptism, a graduation, those small points, those things that are significant and important to take the time to stop and appreciate along the way, to actively engage with. That is what's coming into influence for 2020 to consider. So what are you celebrating? What stability are you actively working toward creating? And who are you going to invite to that party? Who is significant to you and valuable and essential for you to interact with in order to make that stability happen, to make that thing's growth, in order to celebrate and share the abundance of that with those people who are also involved in the endeavor with you. All right, so this isn't a solitary endeavor. This is about your personal journey and your personal endeavor, yes, but it's also connected to the people that support you and that partner with you and that mentor you or that you mentor, and appreciating those developments and those influences along the way. That's what's coming into to consider as to coming into influence for 2020. Beautiful. It's very joyful here. And then this is what we have crowning you, so sort of the aspirational influence of the year. The Knight of Wands, boldly charging forward and taking action. Knights are about motion, again, movement. Jumping forward with enthusiasm and exuberance and confidence. Being confident with the initiation of this ambition, because you're grounded in understanding what it takes to maintain and support further growth, confidently charging into that endeavor and to that creation and to that activity. So whether it be you want to create a business, or whether you want to create art, or whether you want to perform, or whether you want to get your health. It's New Year's Eve is coming up. Number one thing on a lot of people's list is getting themselves back into physical shape, physical wellness. Whether it's charging into sort of like healthy competition, with other people's sports, things like that, or really engaging with a community where it's give and take and and you have feedback on what it is that you would like to create, and you have your feedback available to other people in order to support their endeavor, and they want to support your endeavor as well. So charging in there with confidence and enthusiasm, that's what's crowning you. So that's the aspirational energy of the year to consider. And then this is what is grounding you. The grounding influence for the year is the Eight of Pentacles. Excellent, excellent card to have in your grounded zone, because this card recognizes that your attention to detail, your attention to the work that you're actually doing. It's not all a lot of, smoke and mirrors and a lot of surface stuff. You want to create something of significant value, and you understand what it takes to create and sustain and maintain abundance and wealth. So whatever it is that you want to initiate and you want to produce and you want to celebrate and you're excited about, whatever it is, it's not without value. It's not flimsy. It has substance. It has value, and you are invested in creating something of value in order to offer the world. In order to extend outside of yourself for your own fulfillment, and then also to support manifestation in your own life as well. Fantastic. Fire and earth happening in a Gemini. Glorious, glorious, expansive and explosive and abundant and joyful and active endeavor here. That is amazing. Amazing. For whoever is out there that is tapping into this and wants to carry this with them throughout the year, I am so excited for you. Woohoo. All right, and then at the bottom of the deck, informing this top line of the reading, you have the Six of Wands. Again, more fire energy, and this is victory through action at a point of growth, reciprocity, exchange, the cyclical nature and exchange of that energy. And it's also you following through, doing the things you need to do to get done the things you want to get done. And also you're going to be recognized and you're going to be appreciated for your efforts, for your endeavors, with the intention of carrying on and creating more growth and more abundance through your actions into the future. So fantastic, fabulous, glorious card to have at the foundation of a reading like this. I'm very excited for you, Gemini. Super excited for you. Woo! Okay, so these are the elemental influences to consider throughout the season that we've drawn for Gemini, and this is the air influences to consider. So your headspace, your mental wellness, intellectual understanding of yourself and your place within the world and the world that's around you, perspective, perception, story, all of that kind of stuff. So this is what to consider in your headspace for 2020, and that is the Tower. Okay, what is being removed from your path, from your sphere of influence that is outside of your control, that you thought was providing stability? But it actually wasn't. It was a facade. It wasn't actually providing you with a stable structure or foundation to stand upon. But when it's removed from influence, you recognize that, oh, that is not what that I thought it was. That's not what I thought it was at all. And you have the opportunity to build from a firm foundation something of value and support. So because this can, this card, it looks pretty catastrophic. It's not always. It indicates that something outside of your control is going to be changed that will influence how you go about moving forward throughout the rest of the year. So being able to wrap your head around the fact that anything that is removed from your path, that is removed from your sphere of influence, that turned out to be false, that turned out to be not what you thought it was, not being defeated by that, but recognizing that you can build a stable, strong structure and support and establishment in its place. So not being defeated by the loss of something that is not what you thought it was, but recognizing that, oh, I clearly don't need that. I'm going to respond by doing something proactive and supportive to my future growth. Okay, that's what's happening, and to be aware of in your headspace, to keep your thoughts focused on growth and abundance and nurturing and compassion and wellness and exuberance, and not into defeat and heartbreak and sorrow and loss, by losing something that was not as valuable as you thought it was up to this point. So consider that when things like that happen, and that's going to help you to move past those things that were misrepresenting themselves. And this is what's happening in the heart space. So the water influences emotions and relationships, and that is the Hierophant. Okay, so some structure, some stability, some mentorship. What would you like to learn? What would you like more experience with? What would you like to develop in the emotional realm, with some sort of leadership, some sort of implementing some sort of structure and discipline for your emotional fulfillment. So stabilizing the emotional currents that run through your life. So it may be working with a mentor. It may be becoming a mentor for someone else. But it's the key. The key here is the crow is representative of attention, of wisdom, of knowledge, and the key represents the access to that knowledge. So some form of higher learning is going to be emotionally fulfilling or influential for you throughout the year, as indicated with this card. So if you want to embrace that moving forward, that holds a great deal of potential for healthy development and more efficient development as well. And this is what's happening in the fire influences, what to consider for those. So again, the wands, you have a lot of wands happening here, a lot of explosive, expansive energy. And that is, again, the Eight of Wands, a lot of things happening very quickly. So you see that lightning striking and everything coming into focus clearly all at once. So there's going to be a lot of dynamic energy and opportunity that may be approaching you that you are going to be able to be actionable upon. You're going to be ready to engage, as is indicated by all of this up here as well. And also having that mentorship available to help provide guidance for you so that you can feel emotionally able to engage with all of this activity and extend your energy into that potential. And then also within the headspace, being able to recognize that anything that is removed from your sphere of influence or from influencing you, standing in your way, it could be something that looked like it was supporting you, but it was actually restricting you. It was an obstacle, and you thought it was an asset, but it wasn't. So recognizing those things as they are removed from your path, to keep your thoughts stable and your mental space clear and focused, is going to be able to support you in moving with all of this activity that is here. The 8 is related to strength, and at the bottom of the deck here, you have the Strength card. So some endurance, strength, the strength of your character and your influence to convince those things that stand in opposition to you, instead of being in opposition to you, being able to convince those things to your side to work on your behalf. That's going to be that's potentially a big theme for you throughout the year. So reimagining an obstacle as an asset and finding a way in order to maneuver those things to your side is going to be very beneficial for you as well to consider as you're moving throughout the year. Glorious. And then this is your world. So this is the earth energy influences to consider. So what you actually manifest in real life, in 3D, the material realm of your life. And that is the Four of Wands again. So point of stability, point of celebration, point of gathering those people around you that have helped you and supported you in this new development, this initiation of this grand new potential and explosive and expansive activity, is going to be abundant. It looks like some of you out there are going to have a lot of reasons to celebrate, and you're going to be very busy, very active, very engaged, and very just on fire this year for Gemini. Amazing. All right, whoever is going to embrace this throughout the rest of the year, well done. Well done. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you. All right, that is all that I have for you, Gemini. Thank you for your time and attention. I realize that it is valuable, and I so appreciate that you share some of it with me. If you haven't subscribed and you would like to see future videos that I put out, you can do that now. Ring the bell for notifications if you want to be notified of new uploads. Thank you for all of your support throughout this year. I so appreciate it. I hope you have the most wonderful, fantastic holiday season and Happy New Year, and I will see you guys in the January videos. Bye.